A week ago we were introduced to huge Hearthstone patch. We got a bunch of nerfs, for example Reno, Quasar and Funnel Cake. But also some of the cards were buffed, involving Interstellar Star Slicer, so you already know what's coming. So how did it affect metagame? What decks are capable of performing great ladder climb? Today I'll show you 10 suggestions, 6 for standard and 4 for wild format. I'd be very grateful if you would leave comment, like and sub. That really helps me to grow and improve my content. Thank you, and let's go! Little disclaimer, these are just my subjective proposals, order is random, and remember to carefully spend your dust. We start off with my favorite class, Rainbow Death Knight. It has been there for a while, and onwards it seems to be standing strong. Despite the nerfs, it received threats of despair now cost 3 mana, but still it's a very good mass removal. Reska also got changed to 25 mana, which is nothing. It's basically 0 mana minion. During game we create corpses with Maw and Poe, Jethound Handler and Mining Casualties to spend them with Airlocked Reach and Runes of Darkness. We also have big threats like Magnificent Handless Horseman or the Primus to keep up the pace in later turns. And by spending corpses throughout the game, we stack Climatic Necrotic Explosion to finish off our opponent, or in worst case scenario, to heal and create big board. It's a very cool and fun deck, vast variety of options, nice tempo plays, you just gotta learn how to spend your corpses efficiently. Not that I know how to do it. Zarimi Priest. Our famous powerful dragon has front row seat and she doesn't seem to go anywhere. Her animation is still like 10 FPS, but it doesn't affect a second turn we can gain by playing 8 dragons throughout the game. Before the patch, deck was using Funnel Cake and now Shadow Ascendant is being played as a replacement. We have Whelp Wrangler, Gift Dropped Whelp, and the Cheese Master. Dream Planner Zev helps us to either remove opponent's stuff or find additional damage for lethal during second turn. And Mighty Amanful just speaks for itself. The deck sometimes can struggle with card draw, but if you manage to find decent tempo plays, I can guarantee that double stack turn will pay you off. Pirate Demon Hunter. If you wanna climb fast, you probably need as short games as possible, and Pirate Demon Hunter is a perfect choice in here. We play Sack Puppet, Sleep Spear, Brain Massage and Patches the Pilot, followed by Sigil of Skydiving plus Treasure Distributor and Adrenaline Fiend combo. Dangerous Cliffside is a great tool to keep the pressure on board while drawing cards with Quick Pick, additionally dealing phase damage. Metamorphosis and Acupuncture can help to finish the game if you find it difficult to win by our little pirates. It's a sort of typical aggro, so you need to manage your resources and be careful not to commit too much. Wins by turn 5 or 6 are easily achievable, so it greatly fits into fast ladder climb approach. Dungar Druid. Travel Master Dungar was released in the Traveling Travel Agency miniset, and at first it hadn't seen much of a play, but now it shines, especially in this druid deck. Game plan is pretty simple. We wanna ramp as fast as possible using New Heights and Crystal Cluster while trying to survive early and mid game. Then we sort of manage it our beloved Dungar, and the very turn Dungar is played, it pretty much defines course of the rest of the game. It summons Stargrazer, Splitting Space Rack, Ziliax, Eonar or Thunderbringer, and when eventually our opponent managed to get rid of them, we do Resummoning Circus with Hydration Station. Innervate and Malphite's Gift helps to trigger Stargrazer's Spellburst ability, and if we run out of resources, Kill Jaden comes into play to create endless value. By the way, it's a really powerful card, so I recommend you to put him in almost every deck, either on a regular list or at least in ETC's sideboard. Some games tend to be frustrating due to unlucky draw, but the feeling when you play Dungar while your opponent has 5 or 6 mana crystals is really worth it. Remember to mulligan for ramp stuff and Dungar itself, but it can also be pulled off from Pendant of Earth, which is also a good stall card. Secret Hunter. I'm sure there are better decks than Secret Hunter, I'm gonna mention them later, but it's one of my favorite archetypes, and after others deck got nerfed, it's more than just playable. Costumed Singer and Vicious Sleep Spear are great turn 1 threats, followed by a bunch of secrets: Ice Trap, Bargain Bit, Bait and Switch or Hidden Meaning. Opponent has to play around them, wasting mana, wasting resources, while we reduce Mental Shaper's cost. 0 mana 5/5 is always a go. Then product 9 comes into play. To repeat all previously triggered secrets, opponent has to think twice before taking an action again, and by the time secrets are triggered, we use Star String Bow, Kill Command and Hero Power to win the game. Again, very cool and chilly deck to play. Secret distribution is the key to success. In a perfect conditions, Ice Trap can be triggered 6 times. 2 regular secrets, 1 from both Titan Forged traps, 1 by Observer of Mysteries and 1 off of Product 9. Let me know in the comments below what is your record in this area. Libram Paladin. What a time to be alive for those old timers who remembers OG Libram Paladin dominating in Standard by Interstellar Star Slicer buff. Now we live in similar economy. 0 mana Libram of Divinity, Clarity and Faith. Do I have to add anything else? Interstellar Researcher is a perfect draw engine. Holy Cowboy helps to play 0-cost Librams a little bit earlier. Lumia and Amethyst the Peacekeeper can do a swing turn, after which we're gonna completely own the board. Real, Beacon of Hope plus Astral Vigilance serve as for another bunch of value. Previously mentioned OG Librams, and Lady Liajin does some crazy stuff even by turn 7, followed by Leroy in next turn, resulting in 20 plus damage into our opponent's face. This deck has literally everything. It's versatile, it's consistent, can stand strong in both short and long games, but most importantly it's very enjoyable. Obviously in some games you're gonna be stuck without either Librams or cost reduction, but more often most of your hand will be illuminated in deep yellow. Of course, the list doesn't end in here. There's a bunch of other worth to play decks in Standard, and these are Pirate or Nostalgia or Token Shaman, Elemental Mage, Painluck, Asteroid Shaman, Starship Rogue or Insidious Rogue. Big Shaman. The future is now, Old Priest. That's the suitable quote for now in terms of this archetype. There was Big Priest, now it's Big Shaman. Ancestor's Call and McMorpher all calling the tune by mana cheating Glug the Gulper, Thunderbringer, Walking Mountain and Neptulon the Tide Hunter. We can reduce McMorpher cost by playing Auction House Cable, or drumming it off of Fairy Forest, so it can be played as soon as turn 3. Powerful and oddly satisfying deck to play, but I gotta mention it relies mostly on mulligan. You can find yourself by turn 7 barely alive with McMorpher and Ancestor's Call being buried deeply in the bottom of your deck. Nonetheless, big recommendation. XL Renolock. For those of you who are playing Wild on daily basis, other Warlocks deck probably came into your mind, but I'm gonna talk about that later. Now, Renolock. A bunch of win cons, mass removals, deck cards and big threats combined together equals heavy, but surprisingly likable control deck. I'm not gonna go for particular cards, like it's too much of them. Here's the deck list. Obviously, many of choices can be replaced with something else. A lot depends on your small meta or sort of small environment you're playing in. Just be careful when you play Will of Death, Sorceress, Killjaden and Symphony of Sins. It's a huge dependency game. It's also easy to overdraw or to burn keycards with Altar of Fire. Overall, it's a tough piece of cake to play every game correctly, but even if you are Renolock newbie, including myself, it's worth to give it a try. Add Odyn Warrior. I was keen on adding Warrior deck into this video, so I gave a shot to Odyn Odd Warrior. Pressing Hero Power for armor will become your addiction until you will be able to play Odyn. Then the circus begins. Ethereum Rover and Roserfiend Rockstar helps us to gain more armor, while Billowing Flames, Hostile Invader and Trailbar Fire are great stall and survive resources. All You Can Eat is a perfect draw engine. General Vizax is also a good companion if we have enough armor. Deck features Killjaden, and the game plan is to make him online after we draw all necessary cards. Then we gain armor and attack every turn while playing bigger and bigger demons. As you can see, I have played game where Odyn was the very last card, so it can be exhausted to play it from time to time, but I generally enjoy the idea of nerfed Odyn, so here's the take I've chosen. There's vast variety of other lists and options featuring non-odd cards on Reneval. Would you like to see some sort of presentation video featuring only Odyn Warrior? like archetype review, you know what I'm talking about, hit me up in the comments section. Libram Paladin. What a time to be alive for those old-timers who remembers OG Libram. Yep, this time we are Libramming in wild. This deck is just standard Libram Paladin but on steroids. Alongside Interstellar Starslicer we have cheaper option to reduce mana cost, Aldor Attendant. Then we go full bananas with Libram of Wisdom and Divinity. Sunsaper Lunessa can repeat every 2 and lower mana cost spell, creating incredible amount of value. Light Ray, Devout Popple and Flickering Lightbot are our mana cheatable minions to threat with. We can also mess in our opponent's game plan by playing Rebuke, Cold Feet and Dirty Red, eventually winning the game with Lunessa, Chillblade Champion and 0 mana spells. To be honest, I prefer standard version. Libram of Wisdom tends to disappear due to silence and other stuff. It's also harder to survive early game, but I wanted to show you both versions since it's highly playable on both formats. There are many other versions, including Pure Editions, Renewal, more Librams, less Librams, you call it, cool and generally easy to play. If you haven't touched Wild in a long time and in the same time you're enjoying standard Libram Paladin, you know what to do. As in standard, there's a lot more. For example, Questline Warlock, which is probably most dominant and popular deck in format. I didn't mention it, I don't like to play it, I don't like to play against it, I don't even know the questline itself. Hearthstone was printed for some reason, so it appears that Seedlock is not going anywhere for a long time. Decks that are also worth to mention are Shadow Priest, Pirate Demon Hunter, a few versions of Reno Paladin, Shadowwalk Shaman, or all Miracle Druid variations. And here we are. Remember that a lot of cards can be replaced, there are many variations of decks I've mentioned, there is no single best unbeatable list. As I said before, it's a dependency game. As a end note, I'd say that I do really enjoy Hearthstone right now. Nerfs and buffs shape the meta the way I do appreciate. Now we just gotta wait for mini-set and its own meltdown. If you enjoyed, please feedback me in the comments, leave a like and sub. Every interaction is highly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching and see you around the tower.